Welcome to the Mindfulness Experience Podcast. My name is Keith Fifeson. On this Microdose Wonderland interview, I had the pleasure of speaking with Mike North. Dr. Mike, Ph.D., Unlocking Human Potential, a company called Shiftwave. Watch out. I will tell you that Mike and I got along really well. He's called Doc North. He just doesn't talk about the future, he builds it. And he's built this incredible machine, the Shiftwave machine, and I really enjoyed the conversation. I hope you do too. Hey, it is Keith Fifeson here at the Mindfulness Experience at Wonderland, and I'm incredibly pleased to meet my new friend, Mike North, CEO, founder of Shiftwave. He's one of the speakers, and they've got an incredible technology here that helps to, reboot, reset, realign your body. I think it works on some of the body that we'll sort of jump into. But hi, how are you, and what's up, Mike?
I'm doing fantastic. A little overwhelmed. Didn't expect to be so popular here at Wonderland, but we've had 5 systems running the entire time, and it's just been a queue for each and every one of them. People are just loving the experience, and it's just wonderful to be here and get so much feedback from people that's just so positive.
I've been on the chair, and I have to say I'm one of your fans. I will say that also it literally shifted. There was a shift in my body on a somatic level. So let me talk about somatics, and let me talk about the vagus nerve and some of the things that might be happening in the body on the autonomic nervous system. Can you speak to that? Because it combines some technologies that not everyone would really be familiar with.
We've made a breakthrough in a technology that uses pulsed pressure waves to literally reach inside of you and drive your autonomic nervous system. So it's both pushing your sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems, and in a way it's stretching them. So it's expanding your zone of tolerance, if you will, and that's your ability to deal with stress in life, and in doing so it's also flushing stress and pain from your body.
Oh man, Mike, so seriously, I talk about the window of tolerance. We become hyper or we go into hypo. So really what I hear you saying is it's allowing you to increase that window. How does it wind up doing that?
Well, this is important because the world we used to live in, we were running from lions and chasing gazelles, and we had to be very muscularly fit. In the world we live in now, in modern life, we're dealing with cognitive and emotional loads. And so we need a strong nervous system. And so this is both stretching and strengthening your nervous system by expanding your capacity to deal with stresses, by being able to let you go to a more of a sympathetic state, but then drop into a parasympathetic state. So you're not as affected by the world around you.
Okay, now some people listening might wonder, okay, come on, this is like a massage chair. And we know it's not a massage chair because there are certain practices that you do while you're there. I mean, you're on this chair, it has a vibrational tone to it. They look like the vibrational pads are positioned specifically. And then there's headphones that are giving you instruction. Can you break that down a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's important to note that this was born out of a psychophysiology lab. And so we're wiring you up and looking at everything that your body is expressing and emoting, which is telling us what's going on with both your emotional and mental state. And so we're able to very closely look at how these vibrations are affecting you, and then using that, we can drive you to these unique states.
And this is not only like the headphones and the like sitting in the chair. There's a volume control there, but then you use eye shades. Why the eye shades?
One of the fundamental premises of this is that we live in a world where we're all sight junkies. We're on screen, social media is the empty calories of community. We're seeing, but we're not experiencing. And touch is paramount to us as humans. This is where we get our well-being from and our comfort from. So we've developed a technology that imparts pulse pressure waves that really are putting into you this sense of well-being, and then use that to drive your psychophysiological state.
And it's beautiful because there is this ability to sort of block out the world outside of you. To your point, we're getting so much, stimulation. It's 24/7 trauma TV. The world is falling apart, and what am I going to do? So you're really, now it's not that long. It's like a 10-minute session, and during that 10-minute session, you're saying that people can, through the listening, through the breathing, through the process, recalibrate their body. Is that right?
People just open up to touch. It's powerful. And so here, we're actually literally right next to where there's talks going on, there's crowds of people, it's loud and noisy. And even with that, people can drop in where these vibrations, these pulse pressure waves are so viscerally interacting with you, you really listen to it and you shut out the world around you. And in an environment like this where people are just overstimulated, to be able to drop them down into this parasympathetic, this relaxation state, and just give them a break, it's a great second of respite from the overall conference going on.
Now the respite that you get, I think, is huge because it's only 10 minutes and then I listened to one recording, but you have several types of recordings there that really do different things. And it seems to me like it's certainly more than a massage chair. It's much more than just meditation. It's really, there's a whole focus here. How do you describe it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I often joke people, are there any side effects? I'm like, yeah, you might get a nice massage. And no, it is a nice part of it, but that's not really the goal. We're fully realigning your entire physiology to drive you to these optimal states. And so there's different journeys that you can go on that do different things. So there's ones that can get you up and going, so you can do it in the morning, make you more active. There's ones that literally to put you to sleep at night. There's ones that make up for lack of sleep. We call these synthetic sleep. So it's putting you in a deep sleep-like state while you're still awake. There's other ones to boost neuroplasticity. There's other ones to optimize you for sports performance. And then there's ones that will lead to a completely transcendent experience.
So here we are, like, let's be real. We're here at the Psychedelic, the world's largest psychedelic conference. And I'm wondering, what is this product doing here? I mean, isn't it kind of like a somatic experience? Do you think that there's a complementary aspect to the product in relationship to psychedelics, and if so, or if not, or if somebody just wants to use it but they don't want to take psychedelics, can they do that too?
Absolutely. I feel that there's 4 applications for this. There's before the psychedelic experience. So I put a shaman in it yesterday, and he said everyone should do this before they do an ayahuasca journey. And they should do it afterwards to integrate. So there's the before and after. And the before is important because it puts the whole body and mind into a state of harmony so that when you ingest the medicine, you're not fighting yourself. You're joyously aligned to have the full experience. There's the after, because you need a place where you can integrate and you can really cement in the experience that you just had. But then there's the during. And the during, I think, is maybe the most interesting because this can greatly enhance the psychedelic experience, both by aligning the body, but it's also sending a lot of energy through your body up into your mind, and it's really giving the psychedelic experience more fuel. And so we see people that'll take a microdose, a sub-threshold dose, and they will just be elated, but having no psychedelic experience. They'll jump into the Shiftwave, and then they'll crank it up, and they'll all of a sudden be having a psychedelic experience, which they can control with the intensity, and then when they're done, they drop back down to the sub-threshold and go about their day. One of the things I'm most excited about, though, is the instead of. And so we're about to do a study with UT Austin on using this to treat veterans with PTSD. And this is the sole intervention that they'll be using in that protocol.
Yeah, I as I told you, I work with a Heroic Hearts Project as a healthcare ambassador for them, and I really do believe, trauma is responsible, collective trauma, societal trauma, for a lot of the issues that we're experiencing now. So my experience with the Shiftwave was really dramatic. I mean, I got out and I was somewhat disoriented, but I had a sense of balance within my body that really was, when I say disoriented, I felt like I was unarmored. Yeah. So as that kind of, when you move to the trauma state, are you looking at a broader audience as well, like with substance use disorder, working with clinics, working with doctors along that line? I'm just wondering what your strategy is here, because you've got a real gift that you can share with the world. So I'm just wondering your thoughts.
Yeah, absolutely. Our biggest challenge is that it seems that we help with so many things, and it's hard to explain to people why it would help. But fundamentally what we're doing is we're realigning the foundation of your wellness. And when you get the whole body working and communicating together, it can do what it needs to do to heal itself. And so we have seen great application of this for, as you mentioned, addiction clinics. There's one that they have 4 addiction clinics. They bought one system, they came back the next week, they bought 3 more of them. And they've seen a 40% reduction in AMA. So these are people that they're not losing their customers, they're coming back for more. And that alone is huge. And part of the reason is it's enjoyable. This is not just a therapy, but it's very pleasurable, and people feel the shift immediately. It makes them feel good. And I think for us, that individual shift is so important because you feel the results of it right away, but then we're also seeing these great long-term benefits from it. And if you ask me, the greatest long-term benefit we could hope for is it's more of a societal shift. I think we live in a world where people internally do not feel complete and whole. There is a hole they're trying to fill. And they may be doing it with media entertainment, they may be doing it with drugs, they may be doing it by buying things, retail therapy, and they're just trying to fill the hole, and that's coming from a place of scarcity, where you're trying to extract value from the world. And we've seen this remarkable result is that when people are completely whole in the state that we put them in, now they want to give back and they want to help the world.
I love that because it really speaks to the integrity of the whole person. And I think what you brought up for me in the listening was the understanding that, many children are raised in our society as latchkey kids. There's not a lot of hugging and holding. There is divorce. There is drinking, drugging, eating, sexing, spending. Disassociation, literally through media addiction. So I think you're bringing home here on a somatic level the use of the chair in a very different way. That's very interesting to me. Is that am I saying the right thing?
You're saying all, man. We're just vibing here, Keith. You've got it. And one of my favorite journeys is actually for kids. Yeah, and it's a journey where they rocket launch to space and they go at light speed, then they jump through portals to go save a sinking base station. And that's what they think they're doing. But in reality, they're learning breath work. They're learning to regulate themselves, to balance their autonomic nervous system, and instinctually now they're able to do this. And so we're seeing great, just anecdotal results with kids able to focus and remain calm and almost, in a way, get them off the screen, which is this hyperstimulation, and learn how to down-regulate themselves so they can be calm and focused.
Thank you for being a part of the Mindfulness Experience Podcast, the Microdose Wonderland interviews. There's more coming up, so stay tuned. Make sure to scroll through all of our podcasts on technology, mindfulness, and psychedelics, and much, much more. Connect with me on social media platforms. Visit my website at workmindfulness.com. This is Keith Fiveson. Thank you again. See you on the next show. Take care.